Hello, my name is Madeline Britt, and today I'll be giving a speech on why our Gulf Coast is so important and why we should be doing everything we can to preserve it. Boudin balls, etouffee, and jambalaya. All of these things I mentioned are part of Louisiana life and culture, the people who inhabit it. The Gulf of Mexico is a major part of Louisiana life, but as time progresses, the Gulf grows smaller and smaller due to results of erosion, hypoxia, and the nutrient wrap. Something has to be done to save our coast. The reduction of Louisiana coast and the harmful effects on the Gulf are putting many aspects of Louisiana life in danger. The coast of Louisiana and the Gulf of Mexico are some of the most important contributors to the seafood industry. Sadly, every 25 minutes, an area the size of a football field of wetlands and coast are lost. Reports show that by the year 2030, New Orleans and JP will have spent $1.5 billion on damages to the Gulf and the Gulf Coast. What can be done about this destruction? Well, the annual drainage from the Mississippi empties about 1 million tons of nitrate into the Gulf. Nitrates are very harmful to the Gulf and the coast. The source of these harmful chemicals and fertilizers and other chemicals are used by paper plants, oil and gas rigs, and the average homeowner. We as people who call Louisiana our home must do everything that we can to take part in saving our Gulf and our Gulf Coast. First, we must understand why Louisiana is so important. According to the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, Louisiana brings in 16% of commercial fish, 72% of shrimp, 66% of oysters, and that is not only for Louisiana, but for the whole United States. Some of the fish that Louisiana harvests out of the Gulf Coast include the red snapper, tuna, and the grouper. The Gulf Coast single-handedly brings in over half of the nation's seafood intake. Fishing industries make $680 million, and there are 200,000 fishing employees in Louisiana. If the seafood declines due to damages to the Gulf and the Gulf Coast, the jobs would diminish as well. This would no doubt have a huge, devastating economic impact. The Gulf of Mexico is of more use to us than just for harvesting seafood. The Gulf is the second largest oil producer in the U.S. The con is oil spills. They can be prevented, but when they occur, we should do everything we can to get the oil cleaned up and out of the Gulf to help preventing the seafood from being killed. In addition to oil spills, hypoxia damages the Gulf. Hypoxia is a deadly plague that takes its form and kills everything in its path by consuming all sources of oxygen. This occurs when oxygen contains 2 parts per million. Without seafood, Louisiana economy would take a devastating hit. The seafood needs oxygen to survive. When the largest case of hypoxia took place in 2006, millions of dollars were lost because of a shortage of seafood. The area affected was about 8,000 miles. Here is a chart of how big of an area the hypoxia affected during the years and up until the year 2013. The seafood needs oxygen to survive. When the largest case of hypoxia took place in 2006, agricultural runoffs have been found in relation to the blooms caused by hypoxia. Also, septic tank and sewage. What can be done? Well, our government is now limiting the use of fertilizers. To be a part of the cleanup, we should make sure that our livestock's waste is properly disposed of and that we maintain our vehicles properly. If more conservational programs were put in place, erosion would slow down considerably. Each year, Louisiana spends millions of dollars on the restoration of levees. These levees, rather than wasting money on concrete levees, we should put into place shrubs and plant levees that can hold the sediment in place. These suggestions were made by Caring for Coastal Wetlands. In 1997, a group of people brought harmful pests to Louisiana called the nutria. These pests are non-native. They were imported from South America for fur farming, but escaped to captivity and began to populate out of control. They have affected about 100,000 acres of Louisiana's wetlands. The nutrient can take down over 500 bald cypress seedlings overnight. The population is being attempted to be controlled by creating a human consumption market and an even bigger fur market. As a state, we should take every precaution to keep the Gulf in tip-top shape by creating a pollution-free, nutrient-free, protected area. The Gulf and the Gulf Coast has always been a part of Louisiana life, not only been a part of Louisiana life, but American life. Let's not block this fact from our mind. Saving the Gulf is the only choice that we have. Thank you.